I guess this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? So today I'm going over my 3-month mark without using any social media. Okay. There have been two main things that I've noticed at this point that I did not notice previous to now. One, I no longer care at all what anybody thinks about me, my goals, anything like that. Number two, I have extremely strong perseverance and discipline. Like that true, masculine, I'm going to get something done. I've always had it a little bit more than others, I think. But I really went to the next level, recently, okay? For those of you guys who don't know, I'm going to talk about those two things and a bunch of other things. But for those of you guys who don't know, I make this video about once every 6 months, okay, of not using any social media. When I made it the last time, which was 2.5 years after not using social media, so 6 months ago, I thought, okay, I'm going to make this one at 3 years. And I think that's going to be it for this little video series, right? Because I kind of felt like I was starting to get repetitive. However, that is no longer the case. I am now moving away from the short-term benefits and into the long-term benefits. And it is very, very fulfilling, to say the least. Okay? The short-term benefit, and you can watch all the other videos on how I got started and my little, points along the way, how I was, my mindset and things like that. And, what I thought the pros and cons were at that point in time, mostly pros. But it was more short-term stuff, right? Your day would feel better not on your phone as much, all this kind of stuff, right? But it didn't really lead to anything tangible. Now it's leading to stuff tangible, okay? Let me discuss the 2 points that I already said. The second one, which is the perseverance and the discipline. See, when it comes to any prominent, respectable male figure, especially before the last 20 to 50 years or whatever, I don't think they really had phones and stuff, right? They weren't really using technology and all this kind of stuff. Dudes or males, I mean, they had a certain sense of mental toughness and discipline that we do not have today, right? You couldn't break these guys. For all my Indians out there, Gandhi would be a great example. Or here in the West, in the United States, just off the top of my head, I mean, there's a lot of these people, but like Lewis and Clark, for example, I would imagine as they're exploring into the unknown, I mean, you have to be a true visionary to do some of the stuff that they did. There's only a couple names here and there that we know about, but it's just, all the hundreds and thousands and millions of men that have lived, right? They had a higher sense of discipline and perseverance and things like that. Even just general day-to-day fathers, right? They were a lot more tough and things like that and put their foot down with their kids and all this kind of stuff, before this little modern day technology age, right? I noticed myself, now that I'm not on social media, having that same amount of perseverance, right? And there's some people who do have this perseverance today, but it's just a lot less, okay? Yeah, and how you can ask, okay, how do you know that you have this perseverance and things like that? It just bleeds out in your relationships, in your career, in your exercise, right? In the main areas of your life, whatever goals you have, you are a lot more, like I said, just groundedly pursuing those. And like I said, you're doing it in a lot more grounded fashion, in a way that you're more patient, and actually in the long term, you're actually achieving more. Okay. In your relationships, you're a lot more patient. You're a lot more, you're not as quick to judge and just blame things on others. You're a lot more likely to look in. And because you're so grounded, if something does need to be expressed, you do it, and you do it in a very grounded, rational way. But not just in a way that like you're trying to come off as all like you can do no harm or anything like that, right? Like I see a lot of these like especially when I visit family in like bigger cities and stuff like that, everyone's always like complaining whenever they have a problem with someone. Like oh, I only did this, but then they reacted like this and all this stuff, right? All that kind of like bullshit thinking just gets thrown out the window. You just handle situations, okay? Another way how it impacted me, right? With working out, right? I've always been working out since like I think like 14, 15. I think like before 15, it was just like little weights in my house, and then 15 gym membership, right? But I've always been like kind of on and off, right? And I'm always like, okay, for an Indian dude, you know, I look pretty good, right? Like I'm pretty in shape and stuff like that. But like these days, I'm taking it like a whole new level, right? Like I just passed like 215 pounds. My bench press is just shy of 3 plates, which is 315, which for those of you guys who work out or know someone very close to you who works out, that's a decent amount, okay? At least where I live, especially for an Indian dude, okay? But yeah, but it took time to get there, right? It took patience. It took like all this stuff, right? Like but you have that now because you're not on social media. You're not consuming all this garbage, and you're not putting out all this garbage, right? The energy flow in and out in your whole life, like I said, change takes a lot of time, right? It's the same thing with energy change, right? You can cut social media, but you'll start to really see all this rewiring occur like after years, okay? This is also why, just on a side note, you should be very cautious about the relationships you enter in. Sometimes it can take quite a while to rewire yourself back, but that's a whole nother topic for another thing. Another thing. I don't care at all. I could not give a rat's ass what anybody thinks about me or my goals, because I know I'm grounded, right? I know I'm naturally like a more grounded person than usual, right? I'm not like all over the place and things like that. Now, I'm not saying I'm a little weenie in life, right? And I'm not, see, there's two extremes we can always go here. But everybody's going to have their say, right? Like, okay, I'm still not that lean right now, right? But on this journey, I mean, I had to bulk up quite a bit, right? And there's probably a phase or two where it looked like I was a little bit more chunkier than buff. And certain people would have their things to say. But like I said, I'm no longer a slave to other people's opinions, right? I'm not on social media, like comparing myself and all this kind of stuff. Right? I really couldn't care. I know where I want to go, and that's where I'm going. So, yeah, I could not care less, right? Well, with my job, right? There's people who say X, Y, and Z or whatever. Guess what? Now I'm like reaching all-time, like, I'm not going to say all-time progress, but like I'm much accomplishing way more than I ever thought I would at this age in the industry I work at. And fortunately, I've also carried over some of that same perseverance and things like that to like investing in things, right? And I'm much more even rationally and groundedly able to invest in a much more proper fashion. In a sense where I'm like, hey, you know what? I might not have hit the jackpot, like every single like little thing I did, but overall, I'm walking out a winner. Even, okay, in high school, I played Call of Duty a bit for like a year or two. I haven't played, but I just touched it again. Like Black Ops 6 just came out, and I don't know any of the maps. It's like a video game, but there's one map I know, Nuketown. It's from the very first Black Ops. So that's the only one. And they had this game mode called Nuketown 24/7. So I was playing it. I was even noticing, even when I'm playing video games, I'm super, super grounded and like, you know, succeeding at the game and stuff like that. Not the best example, but my point is that I'm trying to portray that this can bleed out into not just the usual areas, right? Like, I mean, I talk mostly about the usual areas, but it could go like all over the place, right? Even with your relationships, you'll notice you'll get much more calm and you will take much more inner responsibility, right? Because, and your actual selection will be better. You're not just going to be worrying about, oh, how does this look, right? It's going to be a lot more deeper than that. It's going to be more like, is there something fulfilling actually from this person besides just like, you know, the usual mental high from the superficial things that people provide, right? This kind of stuff. Okay. Side note. I did actually download Instagram on my phone. And this is like the first time I've downloaded it since like on my actual phone. Because usually I only check it on the computer. But the computer I used to use got misplaced by somebody in my house. So I downloaded it on my phone. I just wanted to make sure nobody was trying to contact me and things like that. I will say that experience using Instagram now is even way more worse than using it like before, you know, Thanksgiving of 2021, which is kind of around when I deleted it. Okay. Why? Because from like the 5 minutes I was on it, you have all these like little features and stuff of like keeping up with people. But at the same time, your actual feed, I noticed, maybe it's just because I haven't been on there in like months, but there was like no one I knew. It was just like all these like random like ads and like stuff like that, or like other pages that I follow. But like, I'd rather just see people that I care about and what they posted. But anyways, yeah. And then there's all kinds of shorts and stuff that I kind of see from YouTube. But, and yeah, some of these effects that I'm feeling is also just the age I'm in, right? I'm entering more like I'm going from like my earlier 20s to like my later 20s. So like in my actual life, like I'm not really like looking for attention like that, like I used to, right? I got like a decently nice car. Like it's like an all black Camaro. It's like the V8. So like there's a lot more of that fulfillment I also got in like real life that also affects my like willpower to, or I'm not even gonna say willpower, because these days it doesn't even require that much willpower. But whenever I do get like a little urge, like, oh, it'd be nice to post or something like that, just for that little attention boost, or that little like, you know, that dopamine rush when you post and you're getting all the hundreds of likes and things like that, I kind of steer away. I'm just like, what is this gonna do, right? What am I gonna get out of this, right? I'm just gonna get a bunch of likes from people that I don't really know anymore, right? And that's supposed to feel good for me, and then it's gonna take away from my energy of keeping up with my other, you know, relationships that I have in my life right now, that I've formed over the past few years, that I have a good time with, like buddies I play basketball or cards with, or, you know, whatever, right? Whatever. You know, there's many little shenanigans here and there. Or like I'm a lot closer with my neighbors now. Before it was just like, hey, what's up? You know, try like you know, we're all in the cool Olympics. Now it's like, you know, we actually talk to each other, have like deep, meaningful conversations and stuff. We'll hang out like actually like outside of just like, hey, what's up? Like, you know, we'll go on walks or we'll get something to eat or something like that. So that's sad. Yeah, this is my 3-year update. I'd strongly urge everyone to try it. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you all very, very much for watching.